Hello, beings. So today I want to talk about this energy that we're in right now, because this energy is weird. You probably felt it over the weekend, but especially today. So it feels like we're in this void space, and the void is just unmanifested light. So the void is like, you might think of the void as like when you think of space outside of Earth, this dark vastness where we're all birthed from, right? Like solar systems, galaxies, us as beings made of stardust. We all come from this vast darkness. But because we are here on Earth in a very physical, earthly, tangible realm, and we're very, very used to doing and to creating and producing, and then doing something, getting the satisfaction, the sense of achievement from having done that thing. And then we're like, okay, cool, what's the next thing I want to do? The next thing that I want to create, produce, achieve. And so we're not very familiar, we can find it uncomfortable when we're not getting that sense of achievement, satisfaction from what we're doing, right? Like we can kind of think something's wrong. And nothing's wrong, actually. It's just because we're physical beings in a realm that, like I said, is very materialistic, and we're constantly being shown what we should buy and what we should spend money on and where we should, put our energy into doing. So when we then feel unmotivated or uninspired, or just like, even if you're still doing what you would usually do, your routine, but you're not getting the same feeling from it, it's okay. Like there's literally nothing wrong. When we're in this void space, that I like to call it, it actually reminds us of like who we are without our bodies, like who we are on a soul level, on an astral etheric level, before we incarnated on Earth as physical beings. And that is kind of what this whole week is about. So this weekend, May 1st and 2nd, we have a full moon in Scorpio. I love this. I'm a Scorpio rising. I have lots of eighth house placements in my chart. So like Plutonian energy is my jam. And I can feel this already, right? Like this is what we're feeling. It's the calm before the storm, because a full moon illuminates. A full moon is potent, it's intense. This is where the term lunatic comes from. Luna is the moon. Lunatic means like you're crazy, right? Like you're in the psych ward. Like you're a lunatic, right? It's because the moon is our emotions. And when the moon is illuminated, when it's full, all of our emotions come up and out. And we can get called lunatics, which is a whole other thing, right? Like, let's not get into that today. But what I'm saying is, your emotions are part of you. Your emotions move through you. They're parts of you, but they change all the time. And there's certain emotions that you're going to feel more often because of experiences you've had, because of your core wounds, whatever. But this full moon in Scorpio, this is what Scorpio does. It shows you the core. It shows you like the root of where these maybe heavier emotions come from, or your suppressed desires, the things in life that you really, really want, but you're afraid to even admit to yourself that that's what you want. So this full moon is really showing us where in our lives we are denying our desires. Because Scorpio is a very seductive sign. It rules the reproductive organs. So, it's intimate, it's sexual, it's sensual. It is very, very connected to that sexual life force, Kundalini energy, but at the same time is respect. It respects like when that energy needs to come through. Also, when we are like, Scorpio understands that that energy is just as important when we are feeling in our shadow, when we're feeling depressed, when we're feeling angry, when we're feeling like whatever the shadow aspects are, okay? Because like, here's the thing. We don't just want to engage that life force, that sexual energy, just when we're feeling happy and we're feeling great. Again, this is something we're very much taught in life, is like, you know, everything has to be glamorized and has to be like looking sparkly and gorgeous and feeling great. Scorpio teaches the complete opposite of that. It's like, even when, like, that is actually the medicine. Even when you're at your low point, when you're depressed, when you're angry, like, how can you engage your life force, which is your sexual energy, the two coexist, to transmute, to move through, to listen, to have conversations with those emotions, with those parts of yourself that are in the underworld. And this brings me to my next point. So my next point is that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto rules the underworld. The underworld is, you know, it's the shadows, it's hell, it's the lower realms. And, you know, there's a lot of new age, love and light, whatever, in this kind of age that we're in, right? But to truly be able to embody your spirit, you need to be able to meet the parts of your spirit, the parts of your soul that have been exiled to these lower realms. And this can happen through various like things. Like, obviously the most common way that that's going to happen is through trauma, through death, through grief, right? Like, these parts get pushed down. And what happens when, like, this week, this is what we're going to feel, the Scorpio full moon, is the moon is wanting to bring those parts back up so that you can, so that light can be shown on them, a light can be, can illuminate them, and then you can reintegrate them into your psyche and learn from them, because they hold so much wisdom. And again, in our society, we're seeing how, you know, like, victims of any sort of whatever, whether it's war, whether it's, you know, like abuse, trafficking, like whatever is going on, we are so programmed that like those people, like, it's too painful to listen to or to pay too much attention to these heavy topics, right? Because we just want to stay in the light all the time. But Scorpio reminds us how important it is that we need to listen to these parts of the collective, like on a larger scale, yes. Learning from people that have endured like insidious things and how they have transformed through that and grown through that. And then how we can do that with ourselves on an individual level, the things that we have gone through in life, the things that have, you know, required us to take time out from this matrix mind game. That is what Scorpio energy wants us to do. So it reminds us that what is hidden requires attention and it requires effort. And in order to give attention to what's hidden, we have to get quiet. We have to get still. Scorpio loves its solitude. It's a very solitary sign. It's very private. You know, like, it is the sign that wants to live in that cottage in the hills in the middle of nowhere with moody, thundery clouds over it, you know, and like has to get a boat to like go to the shop. So, yeah, Scorpio is taboo. It's the occult. And because Scorpio rules the 8th house, that's what the 8th house is all about. It's the things in life that people scare away from, shy away from, because it can feel like too much to hold, you know. These topics that I've already mentioned, any sort of like deep life-changing pain. So this is where we're called to put our attention this week, and that's why it feels uncomfortable, and that's why it feels unfamiliar, and that's why we feel like we are just in this weird dark vastness of like, why don't I feel good? What is something wrong? And it's like, no, Nothing's wrong. You're just being guided to put your attention down to the lower realms, to the underworld. Don't be afraid of it. You know, like feel the fear and go there anyway. That's what Scorpio energy is about. And because Scorpio in the 8th house in Pluto is so deep, and it is so, the reason why it's transformative though, this is what I want to get to, is because we can have so much fear around something, especially what is hidden, right? Like so many of us don't remember our childhoods, or we don't remember things that were really painful because the brain doesn't want to remember it. The brain will like erase those memories so that we can keep going with what's in front of us, right? Like it is literally just survival instinct. But sometimes in order to actually step into who we really are, we have to meet those parts. We have to go back. We have to remember, right? The things that were maybe at one point we couldn't hold them. But now we're slowly being able to hold them. We're being able to remember because we're strong enough. We're centered within ourselves. We're grounded enough. And this is the funny thing with fear. Fear is such a powerful, like one of the most powerful emotions, you know, like fear and love are opposites. So when we're in fear, it's like we can freeze. It's like this, you know, this feeling of like terror. And when you're in love, it's the opposite. You're so open, you're melty, you know, it's like so Venusian. But fear, when we're able to feel the fear, like literally viscerally feel it in your body, but then let it have an outlet. Fear needs an outlet. When we freeze, it gets stuck and then it pushes that fear down into our body, into all these other parts of our energy body, the lower chakras, the root chakra. That's why when people are scared, the root chakra gets blocked, because the root chakra is your first resource of safety. It's your root. It's what connects you to the earth. So if you don't feel safe in your body, then you're not going to feel safe anywhere. When we start to cultivate groundedness, centeredness, being able to hold more, being able to hold ourselves, being able to give ourselves love, compassion, care, then we can go travel deeper with our fears. And our fears teach us so much, because our hopes and fears are like this. We can be hopeful for something, like, wow, how amazing it would be to get that job and to be on that salary and to have that house. And at the same time, oh my God, that's so terrifying. What if I don't succeed? What if I'm met with criticism? What if I have it and then I lose it? You know, the fear keeps us frozen unless we move through it. We move with it. So think about these other emotions, like how would you move with love? Try and merge a bit of love with fear so that it can be more fluid, so that it can thaw and it's not just this like frozen ice block. Okay, so that's kind of like some information, just having a stretch. I also wrote down lots of stuff here that I channeled. So other things that you might feel this week, like also the moon is void of course, like yesterday and today. So when the moon is void of course, it's literally what I'm describing. It feels like we're wandering in the vastness, like Stranger Things when 11 is like trying to find whoever the fuck she's trying to find. You know, like when she goes into that space, that's like the void space. That's like that psychic space that she enters, right? And she can telepathically like connect with people. That's what it feels like right now, because this is the calm before the storm. So things have to come up slowly. It's like a potion is being brewed and stirred. And by the time the moon is full in Scorpio on the 1st and the 2nd, it'll be like, okay, here you go. You know? Okay, so other themes. Like I said, Scorpio rules reproductive organs, okay? So like seeking sexual connection. You might just feel this week that you're like, oh my God, I've been so disconnected from myself, whether that's your own like self-pleasure, or like you're like, no, like I really am seeking connection. I want to explore my sexual desires, kinks, stuff like this. Like it's all the things that are taboo, all the things that we, you know, especially as women there's a lot of shame placed on that, right? Like we need to transform that. These are the themes that are going to come up this week with that intimacy. Also craving deep experiences. Scorpio is the deepest sign, you know, like it can hold so much because it can feel so much. And yeah, it can work with fear on a powerful, transformative, alchemical level. So you might feel called to do a journey with some medicine, you know, like work with the plant teachers or yeah, psychedelics of some form. I keep hearing DMT. Maybe that's something that's going to be more popular this week amongst the psychedelic community, or 5-MeO DMT. Yeah, which honestly feels quite underworldly because like there's so many entities within the DMT realm. It's like you just never know what you're gonna get, which is very much like shadow work, right? Like you never know what you're gonna get when you go deep down. Thunder and rain, the weather. Today it's been raining, it's meant to be thundery. I'm honestly so here for it. I love days like this because it is so in tune with the energy. Like for me as a astrologer and, you know, an energy worker, I'm like, this is perfect. This allows me to tune into the work I'm supposed to be doing. Information being exposed is another thing. So the 8th house and like Pluto energy. So Pluto also rules like the economy, it rules inheritance, it rules taxes, like it's global. So when there was like the recession in 2008, that was during something happened with Pluto. Oh God, I can't remember what it was. Something happened with Pluto at that time that like caused that. Maybe it was Pluto moving into Capricorn. Maybe I'm lying. I'm not sure. But anyway, Pluto rules big themes, right? But it's things that kind of like, things will operate under the radar until they're then like shown and revealed to us. So information being exposed. So I feel like this is going to be more like on the world stage, you know, like the politics, like what's going on. There's going to be more stuff that keeps coming to light. And a lot of this is just bait for us, you know, like to like, how are we going to react to it? Where are we going to, how are they going to siphon our energy? Where are we going to funnel our energy into giving like these shadow governments our life force, right? So like be very, very mindful of how much you're consuming news-wise, media-wise, especially this week. Because like, again, Scorpio 8th house is subconscious. There's a lot of subliminal programming happening. A lot of that. Okay, so yeah, the most powerful thing though is like, it's your true desires being awakened. And it's funny, right? Because we had a new moon, like the last new moon we had was in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, but it's also ruled by Pluto. So like the main planet that Scorpio is related to is Pluto. But like I was saying, like Aries, Mars is like, let's go, let's do the thing, boom, boom, boom. Scorpio is like, let's do the thing if it feels aligned, you know? So the Mars energy isn't going to be hitting as much, you know, like you go for the run and you don't get the dopamine hit. You're just kind of like, meh, whatever, I did the thing. Another thing that came through really strongly was no one's going to give you a permission slip. No one's going to give you a permission slip. You are your own permission slip. So by next week, the things that you've been struggling to like make your mind up about, or the things that you've been fearful about, especially about Scorpio season this year, which will be like the 22nd of October roundabouts till like the 20th of November roundabouts. That time period, if you're thinking of going somewhere, of moving somewhere, you will start to get more information, downloads, insight on that this week, because that's 6 months from now. Do you understand? That's how astrology works. It's like 6 month gaps between the new moon and the full moon. Okay, so let's do some cards. So the cards that I pulled, this is so beautiful. Like this is the most Scorpio fucking card in the deck. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The perfect storm. It says the courage to step into life, and this beautiful raven. Like this is the most Scorpio shit I've ever seen. Also number 44, which is lovely. But yeah, the perfect storm, the courage to step into life, It's so Scorpio. It's so Plutonian. It's so Martian, you know? Ugh, the coffee's hitting good today, guys. Okay, so an invitation to act now. The courage to step into life, sheltering from turbulence. So I'm going to read this for us. When the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting if turbulent time. The winds are picking up and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm or you will be buffeted, I don't like this word, buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. I also want to note that like the page number is 88, so 888, and Scorpio rules 8th house. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things we are most attached to that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can also be a call for you to seize the moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of. Now, excuse me. Yeah. So honestly, this is just like, shit's about to get real. You know, like this weekend, we will feel it. Right now is the solitary time we need to take before stepping into that change. Whenever it feels like it's just like, oh, what are we waiting for? I feel really meh. Trust it's because something bigger is coming and your body, like our nervous systems, our bodies, the collective consciousness has to reorientate to be able to hold that new frequency. So we need to have these periods of like, meh, and a bit like sleepy to then step up and in. Okay, and the other cards that I pulled for this, we have the Four of Swords. This is a restful card. This is like meditation, spending time, relaxing, spending time with your mind as well, but in a meditative way. Like, I don't mean like analyzing. I mean like thoughtfully, like intuitively working with your brain, right? So the Swords rules the mind because Swords rules air. Air is a mental element. So yeah, it's a time for like introspection. In the Rider-Waite deck, this man is lying down in a church and he's just like receiving codes, you know, like from the stained glass window and probably from the organs and whatever beautiful vibrations are in that church. So yeah, go to church, whether that's an actual church or your room or a state within yourself, you know, like, but enter those states of consciousness this week because information wants to come through. We have the Seven of Pentacles. In this deck, it's called Failure. I don't like that it's called failure, but it's like, that's what it could feel like, right? Is like, we're at this halt. And again, this is just a program of like, if we're not feeling fulfilled or we're not doing, then we feel like we're failing. It's actually not true. But really, this card is the card of patience. It's like the waiting game. The Seven of Pentacles very much feels like you're looking at everything you've created and you just are like, whatever, cool. Like, you're just not like satisfied, and that's okay. It's waiting. Like, you're looking at the fruits of your labor and you're like, okay, there's still things still need tended to here. My garden still needs a lot of care before I'm gonna like harvest that, you know? Okay. But then on the other side of this, beautiful, it doesn't get better than this. We have the Fool, right? New beginning, new cycle. This is like when you come out of the underworld and you're like, I don't know who the fuck I am. I don't know who that was. But like, let's go. Like, I am the Fool. I'm going to be foolish. I'm going to pack light and I'm going to take the leap and I'm going to do the thing that, you know, might seem foolish to other people, but to me in my heart, I know that it's where I need to go or what I need to be doing or where I need to be putting my energy into. So this is really beautiful for after Scorpio full moon. This also gives me Sagittarius energy, the Fool card, and like, Sagittarius comes after Scorpio. So yeah. Okay, beings, that is my long form video for y'all for this week, for this Scorpio full moon energy. And yeah, I hope it helps. I'm going to be hosting a Scorpio full moon in-person ceremony on Sunday night. I'm really excited for that. So if you're local, come along. Link is in my bio on Instagram, or you can go to my website and book a ticket there. There's 5 spaces left. It's going to be gorgeous. We're going to connect to all the Scorpio energy. We're going to do some self movement. We're going to do, some intuitive movement, some dance, some stretching, some self-led energy work. I'm going to guide you through it, but you're going to do it yourself. We're going to do some Reiki, some journaling, just all the things, all the best things for connecting with ourselves. We're going to do them in community. Very excited. Okay. Have a gorgeous week. Nap when you need to. Be solitary, be mysterious, be elusive. That's the vibe.